Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So for today's video, we're going to be using this sketch right here. I got it off of Pinterest, and you can just pause here if you want to take a look and then come join me. I am going to change it up just a little bit, but first we're going to start working on the background. It wasn't very mixed media esque on the actual sketch itself, but I wanted to add a lot of this paint that we got in the Hip Kit Club. And so all I'm doing at first is I have my white gesso here on my desk, so I just grabbed it and um, using the palette knife, I blended it along the entire page because I really wasn't sure exactly where all the color was going to go, but I wanted to see if this paint would go on with the plastic, like, using the plastic technique. And I just took a little piece of the packaging from that the kit came in to kind of spread it around and try and figure out exactly where it was going to land as far as my triangle pieces. So I'm just pressing down, adding more. And what's really cool with this particular paint is that it's what they call opals, and if you use it on the white paper or light color paper, you get this pinkish hue, right? But that same ink on black paper, you get the secondary color, which is sort of like the underneath color. So like if you tilt your pink, it'll have a little bit of a, I forget which one the pink is, but it gives you just a little bit of that color, and I want to say it's more green, but we'll take a look. Right here, I'm taking one of my colors from um, the Shimmers paint. This is Gold Glimmer, and I was splattering some of that on to give a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to make sure to heat this with my heat tool, and then, oh, here's where I actually show you. Okay, so if you take the black paper and look, it's the same exact paint, but it's on the black paper, and you see the greenish tint to it, and yet, on this white sheet, it's very pink and pretty. So I like the fact that you can use them on either or and have a totally different look. That's one of the best parts about these Opal Magics paints from Prima. Okay, so I took my paper and I'd already basically cut it into the triangle. And what I did was I took a rectangle piece and just cut it along the diagonal on my cutting board, or yeah, my cutting. And what I did was I kind of made it a little bit bigger, and then I just kept trimming it down until I got the desired size of the triangle that I was looking for. And you definitely got to keep playing with your paper sometimes because, doing so much mixed media, even though you do use the gesso, your page may warp, okay? So, and it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, it's just because of adding really all that liquid to cardstock that probably really wasn't meant to handle it. I do suggest too, if you have any problems, try gluing your main paper down to chipboard. Sometimes that does help. Now for my photo, I cut it down so that way it would fit right on top of one of the Project Life cards that came in the kit. And then I'm taking a few of the other cards and layering it underneath. And this was a group of ladies, including my mom. We have a crafting group, and this one particular day that we had gotten together to craft, we decided that we were going to have a little road trip. So we all hopped in the car and went to AC Moore, and that's me down in the bottom trying to get in on the selfie. And I did not have my selfie stick with me. So I decided that I wanted to scrap that. And I'm just going to put some fun foam behind it to give it a little bit of a lift. And then we're going to start um, adding all of our decorations and stuff to the final page. Alright, so I have set it off to the side. just while I did putting the back on, it helped it to dry some more. And then we're going to attach. And now we can start adding. I did some fussy cutting of some of the hearts on one of the pages that came in the kit. They have a lot of different hearts in there. And even though I wasn't doing like the large splatters that you saw in the opening sketch, I knew I wanted to kind of create like a trail of hearts between where my sentiment was going to be and the photo to connect the two areas. Um, and I knew as far as what I like about the hip kit, um, a lot of time the larger sentiments that they have for titles, I like the fact that if they're on the clear sheet, you can kind of cut around the words, cut out what you're looking for, and then like kind of move them around on your project so that way you can figure out exactly what did you want to put down. Okay. I knew I wanted to use the shaker hearts. I thought that was super cute. The paper clip that they have in the, I want to say it's in the Project Life kit. They were super cute, but they had this really pretty flower. I was like, I'm going to use that up in the upper right there. And then once I knew I wanted to use the word happiness, I figured the way to kind of finish it off, I would do road trip happiness because we were having a good time that day. And literally, it was like someone said road trip, and we all just ran to the car and was like, let's do this. And then I have some of the flowers, and I just like to put them kind of around the photo, give it a little extra dimension. You can see all the hearts were kind of all over the place, and I decided, let's start kind of making our little trail. And then don't be afraid to introduce different colors in. Like the pink is our base, but you can see that with the word happiness, I have that bluish, kind of purplish color. I put some yellow coming out from the photo. I'm going to use those flowers where it has the um, that same bluish purple color with the for the leaves and then the green leaf. Uh, I like adding different things. I'm still trying to get used to doing these kind of compositions. Um, I watch people like Missy Whidden and I think it's Jen Show. I hope I just said that right. But they have an ability to create these clusters with their photos that I know it comes with years of experience and, knowing exactly what they like. But I like how they look. So for me, this is just my interpretation of what I see some of what they do. And sometimes it's a hit. Sometimes it's a miss, but I just keep doing it because I know that the more often you do something, the more you'll find your own niche in it, if that makes sense. Just like with, it started out with sequins on cards because I do a lot of card making. And at first I was intimidated because you can feel like you've put too much. And then I realized it wasn't that I was putting too much. I just had to find how I like them on my cards. So it's sort of the same interpretation. I like what they do with theirs, and I never miss a video that Missy Whidden puts up. As soon as my little bell alerts, I'm watching it because I just like her method and how she puts everything together. So she's a great inspiration, and I have links to all of the Hip Kit Club stuff in the more section, so that way you can check them out on Facebook and on their blog. But they also have a channel here on YouTube, and you should definitely check it out because you can see a wide range of designers by them. Okay, so during that whole little spiel, I've just been adding stuff to the layout. Some stickers. You can see I put the road trip in the different colors. And really, not a whole lot. I put a little, oh, I think that was like a little mini camper down at the bottom. Like just little things here and there. Some stuff around where the words are, the title. And then just a few more things peeking out as far as where the photo was. And then, as far as I was concerned, that was it. That's all it needed. And I decided that I wanted to add my splatters, as you see here. And my kind of go-to is always the black soot and the white picket fence from the Distress sprays. But I will tell you this, if you use color cardstock and do not use any type of clear gesso, your distress inks, your spray stains, the white does settle back. It's not a very vibrant white. So if you wanted to use that and have it be very bright, I would say use some gesso. Clear gesso would work, just so that way where you have the white, it has a little bit of a pop. And then I also like to sometimes grab a gold and use that as a layer, but because this one had the pink with the shimmers, the black and white was just enough. And here are the close-ups of all the different sections and areas. You can see the splatters, the gold. It's really a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And like I said before, the links to the Hip Kit Club Facebook and blog are down below. And I can't wait to see you guys with our next video.